of the U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan on the ground and the implementation of the second phase. We are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science. A very good morning, Dr. Wagih.
Very good morning to you.
How are you, sir? Dr. Wagih, a very important visit by the son-in-law of U.S. President Donald Trump to Egypt and to the region, and he met yesterday with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. How do you see the timing of this visit to Egypt by Jared Kushner, and what is that reflecting about the situation of the implementation of the second phase from the peace plan of U.S. President Donald Trump, which was approved last October?
Yes, the official visit of Kushner as the special envoy of the President of the United States is extremely important in this kind of situation where the U.S. administration is seeking to implement the peace plan by the name of President Trump himself. Yeah. He is very interested and very keen about getting something done. He initiated that. And Egypt was very successful in gathering all representatives of the fair-minded minds in this world, and they all agreed to go for this plan and to implement it for the sake of saving the Palestinians, for humanitarian aid, for stopping killing of the Palestinians. And I hope that this will work out. It will work out. Hopefully.
Yes. Of course, Egypt is playing a very important role in that mediation talks. Of course, we have seen meetings with the with Hamas officials. We have seen, of course, meetings with representatives of the U.S. president as well, in order to move on with the implementation of the second phase amid very dire humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip. Also, Kushner will be meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel today, and of course that was Nikolai Mladenov as well, the board of peace envoy for Gaza. So how do you see here the expected reaction from the Israeli side regarding the implementation of the second phase, with all the objections that we have witnessed recently from the Israeli Prime Minister, and the change of course regarding the implementation and the starting of the implementation and the rejection of the 15 points of the plan?
Yes, I think that is a very difficult situation.
Indeed.
In Israel in particular, where we have this extremist right wing insist on things that is really counter to all peace measures, like expanding settlements. They wanted to expand settlements. They wanted to cultivate back settlements in Gaza. They wanted to cultivate settlements in the West Bank. Yeah. And this is a very internal thing, that they would have this flag of expansion, flag of continuing the aggression. And I think that Mr. Kushner will be meeting a lot of obstacles, and I hope he is successful to overcome this. And America should exert some efforts and some pressure to get the second phase implemented.
Yes. Some U.S. officials are saying that Jared Kushner, of course, is trying here with this visit to bridge the gap between the two sides, of course, regarding the return of the implementation of the plan. What are the chances here of bridging the gap, and how do you see the future of the plan with all the rigidity, of course, and the objections from the Israeli side?
I think if the United States is capable of exerting. It has the cards to pressure Israel, and I think it is for the sake of everyone that this would be practiced, because this will mean a lot for de-escalating the situation, which is needed by all parties, by the way, even if some parties are not claiming that outright and in public. No, they need it very badly.
Yeah.
So I think the pressing needs, plus the U.S. cards to succeed in this kind of fight, especially the file of Iran is very complicated. The file of Lebanon, which the United States tried, is also complicated.
Indeed.
And it did not work out as it should be. And I think that the only way out now, which is very important, by the way, and Gaza should not be overshadowed by any other events, because the entire world is with Gaza and with peace in Gaza and for stopping the killing. Unfortunately, while Kushner is here, still firing at the Palestinians. This is very arrogant and very challenging.
Yes. Of course, the main aim of the peace plan is, of course, the cessation of hostilities. Yet we are seeing, as you have kindly mentioned, the continued violations from the Israeli side for the peace plan and the continuous attacks against the people in the Gaza Strip, the continuous violations in the West Bank, as well as the continued violation in Jerusalem as well. So how that would be reflected on the ground regarding, of course, finding a peaceful solution and end to this very alarming situation in the Palestinian territories?
Again, I think that the American administration has to work harder than that to make things on the ground far more better than that, because we have a challenge from the Israeli side. Even if they have already occupied 60% of Gaza now, yesterday or the day before, they mentioned that they will control 70%. So how arrogant, how the Israelis are continually challenging the entire will of the entire world now, including their big ally, the United States. And I hope that the United States would do what is expected from the United States.
Sir, according to the plan, the Israeli occupation troops should, of course, withdraw from the enclave, and Gaza should start to rebuild. We have, of course, to face the very deteriorating and very alarming humanitarian situation in the enclave. How that could be reached with all the continued violations and no cessation of any hostilities against the civilians and children and women, of course, stoppage of entry of humanitarian aid, and of course restricting the work of the UN agencies in the Palestinian territories as well?
Yes, I hope that the Board of Peace will do what is expected of them with the spirit of the international community, and they try to face this wave of violations and the non-committal acts. I think that we are waiting for what Mr. Kushner will come up with in this very difficult situation, where we see much more killing, much more challenging stances. But again, as I've said, we could be optimistic about something to happen, because the inner need for all parties, including the Israelis, is not to do what they are doing.
Yes. To what extent the situation on the ground, Dr. Wagih, is overshadowed by both the, of course, Israeli elections inside Israel, of course, and, of course, the midterm elections in the United States?
Yes, I think it is a war of election results now. People are trying to mobilize on both sides. The United States wanted to mobilize the public towards that we have achieved something. We have achieved peace in the Middle East, which is very difficult. And Israel is playing against that and raising opposite slogans, unfortunately.
Yes. Also, sir, we have to mention here, as you have said also, the implications of the Iranian-American war on the file of Gaza as well. Do you see here some influences and maybe some repercussions of the current war between Israel, America and Iran on the situation in Gaza and the peace talks?
Of course, irrespective of some statements like the files are separated or could be separated, no, the files in the area are extremely interconnected, of course. And even if a failure happens in one file, some people would like to see a success in another file. It is very, very interconnected, by the way.
Yeah.
And by the way, you are talking about, for instance, Hamas. Hamas used to be the arm of Iran and stuff like that, according to the, American and Israeli propaganda machines is going here and there. But now what happened? They felt like Hamas took reasonable steps. Now the American administration in particular said Hamas could not be ignored, and even if we'd like to incorporate them in a political process, yes, they could not be ignored. There is no utter exclusion as the Israelis want.
Yes. Sir, also the situation in Lebanon. And of course we are seeing still many violations from the Israeli side regarding the southern of Lebanon. How that is having an impact also on the situation in the Gaza Strip?
Of course, there is a very big similarities. The Israelis wanted to make it no man's land and to destroy everything and to try to establish settlements in southern of Lebanon, as they are trying to do that now to come that which in 2005 in Gaza, and also they insisted on having empty lands in both places. The same strategy, the same aggressive war is being launched in the two parts, and this is very good and similar example of how aggression and occupation and brutal occupation could be.
Yes. Dr. Wagih, to what extent will the file of the early reconstruction and recovery of Gaza be separated from the Israeli withdrawal one in the plan?
Actually, according to what could be achieved so far, is to keep the humanitarian aid going to the people in Gaza. In the very narrow strip, there are 2 million of Gazans are living in 40% of Gaza. But however, if the stabilization force was agreed upon to be there, if there are some kind of energizing move by the Board of Peace and by getting the national entity to govern Gaza, hopefully the mission of the USA will result in some palpable results in that that situation. It could give a little hope, but it should be one step towards another, hopefully successful steps also.
Yes. Sir, will the early recovery and reconstruction of the strip would be implemented once the second phase of the peace plan would be agreed on and would witness the start of implementation of the reconstruction in the strip, and of course try to tackle more and give more importance to the very alarming humanitarian situation in the strip?
Yes, I think that Egypt is exerting a great deal of effort to de-escalate and to try to make life a better life for the people in Gaza. And Egypt is ready with a very expanded plan to reconstruct. And of course, this is after we were very adamant in Cairo here to say no for displacement. And I think the good thing that the visit of Kushner started with is he asserted that he understands that there should be no displacement, as Israeli consistently trying to do.
Yes, sir, the Board of Peace that, of course, would be expected to take over. How do you see the role of the Board of Peace here?
Actually, the Board of Peace also has some kind of obstacles they should try to overcome, because we know we are supposed to say first things first. Okay, Hamas introduced a great deal of flexibility and several scenarios for the claim of first to disarm Hamas. Yes, this step is not ignored. So what is needed is a committal steps on the part of the Israelis, of course. But to insist on disarm Hamas first as a slogan with no without looking at the realities of the situation, that Hamas did its part, and as the lyric says, I played my part, you played no game. This should be in the heart and mind of the board, so as it could be fair enough to do something consistently with the peace plan they are supposed to implement.
Yes. Dr. Wagih, what are the guarantees here needed from all the concerned parties to grant the success of the peace plan, with all the obstacles that we are still seeing on the ground in order to start implementing the second phase of the plan?
Yes, I think it needs a great deal of concentrated efforts, number one. Number two, the U.S. card should be played, should be implemented to enforce that peace. You know, peace needs enforcement. Resolutions need enforcement. Whether it is a resolution taken through this peace plan situations or through the United Nations, which is supposed to have already issued many resolutions, international resolutions, and this needs to be enforced. I think this is what the world is suffering from, that no enforcement of internationally agreed upon resolution, and I hope this needs a very quick repair and a quick fix, because the world is going nowhere without implementing what they agreed upon.
Finally, Dr. Wagih, again, the role of the international community, the role of the UN agencies in order to try to tackle and to face the very dire humanitarian situation in the Strip, with all the obstacle and obstruction made by the Israeli side, how that could be tackled as well on the ground, with all the efforts exerted, of course, by Egypt. And we have seen everyday convoys entering the Strip, and the initiative of Zaid Eliza entering from Egypt to our brothers in the Strip.
Yes, I think that one of the most important things is to get things back to what it was when we have UN agencies in particular, which is very experienced in dealing with the Palestinian situation, should be energized again, should be operationalized again, with a lot of simultaneous steps and channels to be implemented in the right direction.
Indeed. Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science, thank you so much, sir, for your very precious input. It was a real pleasure, and have a very good day. And now we'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be continuing our segments in Good Morning Egypt.